Hello guys, how are we doing? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you are well. Today's video is going to be just a showcase of what it'd be like if Iridescent players played in Crimson Lobbies consistently. The gameplay right here, I'm using an AR, I'm on Mercado, hardpoint, I dropped 42 kills and die maybe about 25 times or so. So the gameplay is absolutely nutty, and it's exactly that. I am, as you guys know, I'm Iridescent now on actually 2 accounts. This is on my 2nd account where I'm still grinding up the levels. I think I'm Crim 2 rank 17 or something during this process, but it's just going to give you guys an idea of the skill gap between Iridescent and Crimson players. I know arguably it's thin and it differs from player to player, but I'm dominating the lobby here, so make sure you guys stick around to the end of the gameplay to see exactly what dominance I am referring to. You're going to see a bunch of 3 pieces, some 4, 5 pieces in fact during this game, so make sure you guys stay to the end so that you don't miss out on any part of that action. Instead of just rambling me on, instead of hearing me rambling on throughout the rest of the video, I'm actually going to be providing insightful tips into what goes on in the head of like a player as I'm doing this. So if you're wondering what's happening and what goes through my mind when I'm playing in lobbies and what my position is about, I'm going to be basically talking you guys through that. I know Octane and Zinni have been doing a similar process, so like inside the mind of a pros. Obviously, I'm not a pro, but I'm hoping to be that sort of in between, halfway between a really casual player and a pro. Obviously, I'm nowhere near the level of a pro because I'm just not that cracked. But hopefully, it's a nice little transition for you guys to see what the halfway mark is like. If you guys are quite aspiring to be just a better player generally, hopefully I can provide that insight for you. So, without further ado, let's crack into it. So Mercado hardpoint is very rotational based. If you do not rotate to the hills early, the hills are super hard to hold, so you will end up losing the game. So rotations are key. When I'm spawning this side of the map and the tin spawn, the tin hardpoint is open, basically the enemy are going to be spawning down P1. So here I'm hoping for a bunch of kills, and they're going to be coming through tunnel. And unfortunately, my positioning was great, but it's just they sort of knew I was there. They threw a nade, and I died to the vehicle. Probably should have laid a trophy down, but I didn't want to be selfish, you know? Playing a trophy just for your own life isn't really ideal, but I suppose in that circumstance, we wouldn't have been broken if I was still alive, because I've had the whole cut off here. In any case, we decided to get an early rotation to P4. Yeah, P4, Barber. And I'm sort of holding the really back spawn here, so at the end of the day, if you are back here, especially on this position right now, I can see the entire of this side of the map. So I'm communicating to my teammates. I've got your mid, I've got your backside, I've got every sort of side covered other than your back alley. So make sure I need really the person on hill and another person to watch back alley while I chow mid with someone else as well. That's really the ideal setup there. Unfortunately, we do get broke from the side that I wasn't watching, but our teammates managed to clutch up here and get a couple of kills. So there's 40 seconds left on hill, so obviously I'm challenging this. When I'm spawning at gate, you can almost guarantee the enemy team are going to be spawning down this sort of side of the map. So sort of playing that side, they're going to be spawning perhaps in tin. It's really hard to know. We weren't in a 4-piece in this game. It was actually just me and my brother playing. And it was a close game. Don't get me wrong, it's a very close game. It's a bit of a rush start, but don't you guys worry. We do start to piece up towards the end of the video. Well, towards the middle part of the video, actually, so make sure you guys stay around. Don't be disheartened by the fact I'm getting shit on sometimes, currently.
Really weak mid.
So here we are, defending this hard point. What is very tempting to do is just sit in a hill and wait for someone to help. But eventually you need the whole map control. Unfortunately, I choked a shot there, otherwise that'd have been a nice little 4-piece. But I managed to get 3 off the rotation, which means our teammate has got a huge advantage rowing to new. Unfortunately, we get broken again. I mean, I don't know what that nade got stuck to, but it's just one of them, isn't it? I thought I'd survive that, but I didn't. I'm sure you guys have had similar clips, but that's the difference between me and a pro. Those sort of things right there. So in this sort of position, I can see their whole cross from mid into the hill. I can watch their cross from the forklift side of the hill, and realistically, from where I was, I can see the whole cut off. So I spawned in, noticed the clock's 25 seconds left, and I'm thinking, you know what, if I can row here, they're not going to be expecting me here. I can get a decent amount of map control early on, and with an AR, I know where they're spawning. They're going to be spawning garage because we were spawning at yellow van. I've got the whole, pretty much this side of the map under control. So as long as our teammates can make sure they're cut off mid and the back side of this hill, we're going to be gravy, absolutely gravy.
We're all here.
So I'm sort of trying to play a bit cruddy, like where I am currently. It's a nice spot to sit. You can get a fair amount of kills here. Unfortunately, I let that guy slip, so he does get through. But I'm hoping teammates pick him up. And then I die from the couple running. Perhaps I should have just let that guy run through. But hey, and then kept watching them forward. But I just felt so guilty, you know. So again, we're back to P7. I say back to, this is the first time. We're back to P7 here. Where I am currently, you are on the hill. You can see down the whole middle of the map. And the enemy team are going to be absolutely clueless to where you are unless you kill them here over and over again. But it is quite hard for you to be seen. So we've got the whole of the right side covered pretty much. My teammate's communicating to me that there's a guy on the left here, so I'm sort of watching that. And I'm being so annoying that the enemy team actually pull out a sniper to get me. That's what they have to do. That's what it takes to clear me off that sort of position. Unfortunately, that's the start of the break. I'm not too concerned though. We're sort of 60 points up. There's maybe a couple of people on the hill, so I'm just at the moment trying to get, you know, just get the guy off the hill, just stop them getting time. I'm not so fussed about us getting time because we're up on points at the end of the day. But my main focus here is getting the P2 spawns. Now you're going to be thinking, but why? There's P1's next. But yeah, P1 is easy. It's a 50-50 hill. No matter what side you're spawning on, it's the same advantage both sides. What is really critical at this point in the game is to get those P2 spawns, because at the end of the day, P1's going to be a shit show. It's a 50-50, as I say. It doesn't matter what side you're spawning. So if you can get P2 spawns early, you can then push P1 from there. And then when it gets to P2, you've got the spawns already, and you don't really have to make any sort of risky gunfights to get there. Thankfully, I won that gunfight. I don't know how the guy had a sub. I thought I was done for. But I do get the info from the nade that there's a guy in tunnel, so I'm sort of playing for that. Shot's a bit shaky, but we managed to finish the kill off nevertheless. And at the moment, the only info I've got from where the enemy team are spawning is based on where we are spawning. So I'm seeing on the top left in the minimap, the teammates are spawning sort of the yellow car side of the hill, which means that enemy team are going to be spawning towards the gate, sort of barber side. So that's why I sort of position myself this way. They can see on the minimap a teammate is pushed out to the right, so watching the RV and the gate side of the hill. We've got a teammate sort of pushed in mid, so now I know my duty as an AR on the top of this hill is to just watch the bush side. So my teammate does fall from the right hand side here, so I'm a little bit conscious, and he has spawned up at the yellow vans, which does mean to me that they're going to be coming from the gate. There's a nice little 3-piece. Can I get the fourth? Unfortunately not. So there's 12 bullets and a dream left here. I couldn't quite finish that kill off. I think part of winning gunfights is knowing when you're going to lose them. So there, I knew for example, I was weaker than they were. I just got to get out of that. So I maintain my life. I'm being a bit annoying here. They know I'm here, and they do get split spawns, unfortunately. And yeah, I was out of ammo. My pistol work isn't that great, so I do end up losing that gunfight. We then lose the rotation, well, the initial rotation to P3 over in tin here. So I'm sort of playing a bit cruddy, trying to play for a couple of picks, get the guy weak in hill, and unfortunately there's just nobody there to trade it. So we end up giving them pretty much 30 seconds left on this. Now, when you're at this point, when you're this far ahead, you're pretty much the same distance they are to you as you are to winning. You want to sort of fight for what you can, as much as you can, just because it really puts the pressure on them. But unfortunately, they managed to get the whole of this scrap. They're going to be on about 190 points, maybe 20 points behind. So we need to get this rotation down. I've communicated to my team that there's a guy in P2. Now, let's take a look at where I spawn here. This is going to tell me a lot. So I spawn back here. What this tells me is that the enemy team have flooded through garage, because otherwise I'd have spawned there, and that there's someone back alley or P2. I would have spawned P2 if there wasn't someone back alley. So I know that that's the spawn point there has given me a huge amount of info. I know to expect someone back alley. I know to tell the teammates that you've got one back alley, and then you've got a guy who's pushing from the garage, from the gate, and that's pretty much a lot of info from the spawn. So knowing your spawns and knowing where the enemy spawns based on where you're spawning is huge. It's free intel at the end of the day. So we're sort of playing this sort of position. Our teammate somehow has got P2, but he's letting them through. This guy is absolutely joking me here, and he ends up getting the kill. That's a shameful death, but hey, it is what it is. I was the last man standing, and he had a sub, and I had to be aggressive there. So we end up hopefully rowing again. Unfortunately, I do lose the initial gunfight, so I milked a little bit there. They've got 5 seconds left on hill. It's a 3v3 if without me there at the new hill, because I died. The other guy on their team was at the old hill still, so 3v3 just needed the teammates to clutch up, which they sort of have done. We're putting a lot of pressure on here. Unfortunately, we just don't have trophies, and we've been pinched, so we are in a very bad situation. There's 45 seconds left to this hill. They need a mere 30 to win. We need about 20 to win, so it's looking very tight. However, Vians or Vians, however you guys want to pronounce that, has gone absolutely huge. He's got an initial 2 kills, which basically means they're going to be spawning garage or gate. So from here, we've got all the info we will ever need. I've got the whole of the mid push like so. Teammates are free to get onto the hill. I noticed that they've spawned, one spawned forklift, one spawned pretty much next to me, which means they're going to be spawning the other side of P2. I'd have loved that kill. That would have been an absolute icing on the cake. But here we are, fighting off the demons. Towards the end of the game, we managed to clutch up for the dub. Me holding that position there was key because it really didn't allow them to get to the hill. Even if I didn't die and played my life a little bit, they'd have been concerned I was around. So yeah, just holding a power position where you can as an AR is absolutely money. So that's going to be it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the insight, and I will catch you in the next one. Ciao.
People while they're in Daddy, yeah.
Mate, I'm not hacking, mate.
Wait, who said I was talking to you, bro? Don't get gassed in your 40 kills, bro.
Yeah, but gassed fam.